that is basically gone together with the imposter syndrome. And I suffered from that greatly over the past 3 years. Well, better late than never, right? Let's talk imposter syndrome. Hello everyone and welcome to the Psyche Pete's channel. My name is Psyche and I talk about the Pete. Apart from Psyche in general, we here, meaning me, like to talk about ADHD and things related to it, like low motivation, lack of focus, and other things, and also self-improvement in general. Thinking of it, it would be best if you just subscribed and you can see for yourself. And with that out of the way, let's talk imposter phenomenon, or what is also called imposter syndrome. It is not really a syndrome or a diagnosed and recognized mental health issue. The DSM-5 doesn't recognize it at all, and that means that it is really up to us to get this problematic issue in check. Of course, you can talk with your therapist about it, but what about if you don't have a therapist because you don't have any recognized mental issue? What then? Because let me tell you, an unchecked imposter syndrome can really for your life. And we really can't have that happen now, can we? Let's talk about how to deal with this issue. But first, as the great someone somewhere at some point said, know your enemy. Well, it seems that it is quite universal. It is not linked to any specific mental issue, it is not linked to a specific gender or age. And it is not even linked to something like low self-esteem. It can really happen to basically anyone on any level of success. And it can really suck all of the joy from the success that you are having. It can make it feel like there is really no success at all to talk about. How is something like that even possible? Well, it turns out that the way we communicate with each other may be partly to blame. Because imagine a group of people where everyone has a problem, everyone has an issue, and they all feel inadequate. And obviously, none of the group want to disclose this uncomfortable feeling with the others. When you are in such a group and you take everyone else's testimony, or lack thereof, at face value, you might feel like you are the only one having these problems. But keep in mind that you are not voicing them either. To the rest of the group, you are still a contributing factor to the same feeling of inadequacy. Because no one is having this feeling, right? Because no one is talking about it. It's only you. Another thing that I have not read about, but I think can be a contributing factor, is that very highly intelligent people tend to rise quite high in the society and achieve a reasonable level of success. But these people are also usually quite analytical and they understand the world to a higher degree than usual. That might mean that as they are accruing a vast amount of knowledge, the Dunning Kruger effect, which is the effect that makes you feel like you understand something exactly because you understand so little about it that you don't even know what you don't know. So this Dunning Kruger effect in highly intelligent people may be getting very much lessened because they already know a lot about a lot, so they understand how beginner their status actually is. And they may feel like that other people are actually more expert on these areas because they seem to be more confident about them. The feeling that goes with it, and it has been my personal experience, so feel free to comment if you have felt something similar in the past, is that as I gain knowledge on a subject, even though it is substantial knowledge and I probably know more than 95% of people, I somehow forget that I have learned all this over a couple of years maybe, and I somehow imagine that everyone knows this. This may possibly be related to the ADHD, because it is not like I am intentionally placing some extremely high standards on other people. It is just that I forget how difficult for someone it might have been to get to the same position. And I don't like to be rejected, I don't like to get into conflict, so I automatically assume that the other person might be actually insulted if I didn't consider them on the same level as me. So I actually start to consider them to be at the same level as me in their knowledge of a particular subject. And that is not the smartest thing to do. Not only does that create unnecessary confusion because you are not going to explain everything as properly as you probably should, it will also make you more susceptible to this imposter phenomenon, because when you don't think about it very much, you will just feel like everyone in the world knows what you know, and then your own inadequacies, because we don't know everything of course, will seem like they are actual flaws. But let's cut to the chase, right? We already understand what it is, now let's figure out what to do with it. The very first thing, and possibly the most important one, is to know that it even exists. If you are watching this video, you probably have this covered already. But it is not a bad idea to go on the internet and read a little bit more about it and hear some experiences of other people that have gone through it. You might be surprised how extremely successful people have dealt with the syndrome in the past, like Albert Einstein, for example. The second part of the solution is just be reasonable. You have your rational mind for some purpose, and that purpose is to make you better understand the world around you. You have to rationally understand that it is impossible for everyone to know everything, and that if you have expertise, even when it doesn't really feel like expertise to you on one particular subject, most people don't. The fact that you don't have an expertise on one subject and someone else does doesn't mean that you have to have it, because they probably lack something that you don't. I've seen a nice picture of it somewhere. I have created a masterpiece. Behold. This is what you think. You are in the middle and everyone else knows a lot more. But what is actually happening is this. You are in the middle and everyone knows something. When you look at this group as if it is one whole circle, you will get this. But that is not what is really happening, is it? When you are searching for expertise in a particular subject, you will always find the people that actually know what they are talking about, but you will always find a different person for each subject. Okay, I think it's clear anyway because of the amazing picture that I just drew, so let's move on to number 3. Number 3 is work on it. Oh no, it's Captain Obvious again! Hello, my name is Captain Obvious, and I want to tell you that not everything is as obvious as it seems, because my point to you is very, very specific. What I meant by working on it is be mindful of what you are actually learning. Captain Obvious out. What Captain Obvious means by this is that when you now understand that this syndrome or phenomenon exists, when you are learning something new, be mindful of that you are learning. Be mindful of the work that you are putting in. Be mindful of what other people say about the topic. Ask them even. Ask someone if they understand a particular topic. Not in a competitive way, just talk about it, see what they actually know. So for example, when I'm doing Instagram marketing, right, I'm getting reasonably proficient at it. And when I look even at my competition, I can see that I'm doing pretty well. But like, what's the big deal? I mean, anyone can do that, and I'm obviously getting really lucky because I just don't know what I'm doing, right? I'm just learning in the process, and I believe that if someone really tried to do that, they would be so much better than me. Stop. 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 If this is how your mind goes, just say it out loud, just record yourself, just listen to how ridiculous that sounds. Imagine if you actually had to give these reasons to someone else. Hey man, you know, you're not actually that good because of... and give them these reasons. You wouldn't do that, right? It's not reasonable at all. So, to make a nice little TLDR, right after you click the like button and subscribe. Is it done yet? Okay. So the TLDR is, first, remember that it exists. Read more about it, listen to the tech talk, listen to this video again. Then, use your rational mind. What are the chances that people actually know so much about everything? Remember the amazing picture that I showed you. That's how the circles actually look. Then, talk with people about it, not competitively, just talk to them about a topic that you are interested in, that you know something about, and you will see that their expert level is probably not what you think. And then, be mindful when you are learning something. Now you understand that the concept exists. Remember how much effort and work and time it has taken you to learn something. It is not obvious that everyone is doing it. And lastly, imagine telling these reasons for why you are an imposter to someone else, to a friend or a colleague. If you want them to take you seriously, you should probably use quite some different arguments than the ones that you are using for your self-talk. And with that being said, this has been Pete for Psyche Pete's channel. I hope you liked the video. Consider subscribing, liking, clicking the bell and all the other great stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!